I wanted to ask that
Yes.
we
Tell
work
me.
in certain file, okay,
Hmm.
and we have done some operations over it, and then we take another source and create another workbook, right? So kind of a workbook, kind of a book, right? What you call it? Uh,
Book only, workbook.
yeah. So, can we whatever work we had done in the earlier book, can it be transferred to the current book, or we can have that file in our current book, if that can possible?
You would do a save as to the workbook then, right? Just like how you would do it in Excel. If I have a workbook in Excel, I've worked on it and all, and I want the same thing in somewhere else, I typically would do a save as and create a new workbook so that the old stuff is all there, isn't it?
Okay. Or
What
or
is it?
uh, or
Huh?
the scenario is that I have opened another one.
Hmm.
Now what? I mean, if I want that earlier thing should come in this book, then what should I do? It cannot
So
happen.
basically, whatever work you are done, it's part of a workbook, correct?
Right.
So if I want this workbook, I need to open this workbook. If I want to, have the same data set but create a separate workbook for it, then you need to save as, just like how you do in Excel. You'll
Yes,
do a
yes,
save as and give a
yes.
different name and a location to it.
Okay.
And then whatever edited you need, then you can do it over here. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Any question?
Yes, please.
Um, while doing the data modeling, means everything that we did on the using the visualization tab, is the data going to be saved next time when you open, or is it just a one-time visualization?
No, it's saved. It's saved in your workbook.
Okay. 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 Thank you.
Okay. All right. But we have not done modeling yet. Still need to do modeling.
No, I was referring to the activity that we did yesterday. So
Oh yeah. It will
the
save.
income and
It
average.
will save.
It
I
will-
had just deleted it, but it will save.
Okay.
All right. Let's get started with the concept of data modeling, which you already know. Yes,
Shani,
Vivek. Yeah.
I want to show my
Screen.
screen. Can you see? Yeah. Sorry. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Good
So
afternoon, Ishani.
Hi, Ashish. Good afternoon.
I've just uploaded these files. So I think I have all files which is required.
Calendar, customer, category, subcategory, product, returns. But you've not combined the sales. Why? Plus, I don't need marketing data. Marketing data was some other data set. It's not linked to it. So I need to get rid of this marketing data from this file.
Okay.
Okay, right click on it. How come we have not combined the file of sales till yet?
I missed that class.
Just right click and let me just get
Okay.
few things deactivated. Delete that part and then you need to combine the file. So how you will combine the file? Just look at my screen once, Vivek.
Okay.
So since you have all the three files uploaded, like sales of all the years, correct?
Yes, Isani.
Correct.
Vivek.
Yes.
You have all the
Isani.
three files, right? 16, 17, 18. I could see that.
Yes. I
Correct.
have.
So you need to append the file.
Append. So to go the transform.
Go to the transformation. Select
Okay.
one of your sales table.
Sales table. Okay.
And then on the home tab, you have something called append queries.
Append queries. Okay. Append
Once you
queries.
click on that, you will get an option of 2 tables, 3 tables. So click on 3 tables.
Okay. 3 tables. I tried, but I'm getting some error. I will.
You want to share your screen?
Hold a minute. I'm just logging through the. Hold a second.
So Shani, by seeing the query, can we make out that this table is combined or not? Just by some.
Yeah. In fact, the first column itself shows you the source from where the table has been picked, the data has been picked. So you will see there are 3 sources sitting there. The first column.
Okay.
And if you append it, so what we did, Sanjeev, we had picked the folder and we combined it straight away. We didn't append the queries, right? Okay. All right. So pick 2017. Add. Not from here. That's okay. It's working on it. That's why the symbol is there. That's okay. Pick 2017 sales. Click add. 2015. Click add. Click OK.
Okay.
Just cross this. Yeah, cross it off. Cross it off. One of them doesn't want to go. Can you just try to pull it out? Does it go that way? No, it's bringing more people inside now. Cancel it. Do it once again. 3. Okay. So your 2016, just rename it and say AW sales so that you also remember all the sales value are sitting here.
Okay.
Right click, rename. Just AW sales. Remove 2016 from there. Otherwise, you'll always be confused. Correct. Done. Anyone else who's not done with the tables yet? Everyone done?
Yes, Ishan.
All right.
Yes, Ishan.
All right. Great. Can you stop sharing, Vivek?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. And I hope you have removed, you've still not removed that marketing data. Get rid of that marketing data. Okay. So we were working in the Power Query for a very long time now. 5 classes, I think we have already done only Power Queries. Today we are coming in the front end, but still we are not going to create charts yet, because the next step after you have prepped your data, cleaned your data, is actually to create the relationships. So if you see in this particular place on the right side, you have 3 main icons, which is report, one is table, and one is the relations or the models. So in report, where your dashboards are created, this is where we pick and drop various visualizations and create them. Number 2 is where you will be able to look at the data, the values. If I click on any of the column over here, I will be able to look at what are the various values. If I want to, change some values from one table to another table, I want to change the name, I can do it over here. And the last one is the data model. Now, what happens in case of data model? It by default tries to create various relationship by its own. So sometimes it does a good job. In our case, there is one issue based on which my Power BI, I know, will not do a great job in making relationships. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, yesterday I asked someone, if you press shift, it's working. You said no, but it's working. You can delete all of them by using shift select and get rid of it.
So
Now
where you get to this window?
You will all go to models, which is over here, and manage relationships.
Okay.
And then select the first one, press the shift key, down arrow key, select all and delete.
Yesterday I tried it, but it didn't
That's
work.
That's what I was thinking. Yesterday I told someone it didn't work. Today, like magic.
We spoke yesterday on it.
Yeah, in day-to-day it's working. That's what I was thinking. I was able to delete it. That's why I told you to do it. So shift down and then select all and then delete.
Ishani,
Okay,
we have to delete all the things.
All the relationships can delete, because because my over here also the relationships are wrong. In your case also relationships will be wrong, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
So first thing I want you all to do is, first of all, delete all these relationships. Second thing I want you to do it, we created a lot of different tables. If you look in the front end, apart from our main tables are starting with this AW. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Why do I have 7? 1, 2, I did not get territories. Oh, I didn't name it properly. Okay. So we've, apart from all these 8 tables, we still have more tables in which we were, writing various queries, and that's how we, changed it. And we created average income per gender, and so on and so forth. But do we really require these tables that we have created in our visualization? What do you think? Do you think you will do a count of color visualization? No, right?
No.
No, because as it is, it can do in a visualization. So all these tables which are visible in the front is a bad thing, because there are too many tables to look at which you are not going to use. And in the back end also it's bad, because when they are all active and visible, they will try to create some kind of relationships over here. So first thing what I want is bring all your main tables to one side, and the tables which are not going to be used to push them to the other side, like average increase in the profession, the color count, subcategory, average price, all of them shifted. These are not going to be used, and the ones that we required, move them on one side, because then you will have a much better clarity of what I require to create relationships with.
Can you please zoom? We are not able to see.
I know you don't have to, you don't need to see my screen. You know the main table's name
Yes.
on your screen. Bring them on the left side, and bring the tables which you created through let's say statistics or through group by, move them on the other side. The reason I am zoomed in, because I want to look at all the tables at one shot.
Ishani, what did you do after deleting the existing
After
my
deleting this thing,
manage relationship? What you did?
what I'm saying is, the names of all the tables that you are using, right? Like
Yeah, I got that.
tables.
I am
Yeah.
asking in manage relationship, you deleted the earlier structure, right?
Or earlier, yes, I deleted
Then
all the
what?
relationships.
Yeah,
That's it.
then post that.
And post that, I'm just sitting and designing these things, just rearranging my data. That's it.
Okay.
Nothing else I've done. So just make sure anything I don't need, shift it to the right. Things that are important to me, shift it to the left side.
Ishani, how to remove the relation?
Average income.
Hello, Ishani.
Is Ishani here?
Yeah, I have forgotten to how to unmute. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, how to remove the relation from the table?
So to remove the relationship, click on manage relationships. Right? You will see all the
Okay.
relationships over here. Select one, press the shift key and the down arrow key. Okay.
Do I need to unselect all the
Nothing. Just select any one, press the shift key and the down arrow key. All get selected and deleted. There's a delete button over here.
so it's deleting one by one?
How many tables do we have?
We have total of 8 proper tables and other tables we have been creating, but the 8th one is what I want on the left side.
So Ishani, can you please tell the names, all those tables which is needed?
You should also know the name by now. You all should know the names of the tables. You will only have to figure it out. Now, I'm not going to help you now. You know the tables you downloaded, you worked on the tables. You should know the
Yes.
tables. Please know the tables. Because how much now you're going to start modeling and then visualization. If you still don't know the data well, then it's a trouble for me.
So Ishani, the
Can you
tables
repeat
which you have
maybe
worked
it was a
on,
little different? Huh?
the tables which you have worked on, you have kept in left hand side. Okay.
So there are two
Are
things.
they
right?
required?
So there are two things, right? One is that we had some base table.
Yeah.
The 8 tables that I had uploaded in the beginning, and you guys
Right.
had downloaded it. So those are my main tables on which we will be working, correct?
Yeah. We
Correct.
don't require the other ones, huh?
We don't
Right now.
require the other ones. Those are
Okay, fine.
typically created in transformation to get quick, understanding of the data. We could have deleted it, but since we had worked on it, so I've kept it over here, and I don't need them. So I don't need to create any relationships with them, and I don't need them. So that's why I've shifted on the right side so that it does not affect my ER diagram.
Fine.
We
All
only
right.
need the main data table for in the front end as well. All other remainings are just for the FYI.
Absolutely. And we are going to make sure in the front end also they are not visible, because all these kind of things create a lot of chaos. You will see when you are using multiple tables, to go up and back and forth to pick and find the fields takes time. So you really don't want anything which is not required.
But in the front end, we are getting all the tables along with the
We will-
AWS.
Yeah, but we are going to get rid of them.
Okay.
But
That's
that
the reason-
reason I had created another workbook and just loaded.
No,
all those
you don't have to. You don't have to do that.
No, I already did it.
Or you did it, but you don't have to. We
Okay.
can take care of these tables in the back end.
You asked for the another workbook only for the marketing table, just for the practice, right?
Correct. Absolutely correct. Our Vikash, you there?
Yes, Ishani.
You have suddenly becoming very quiet. Why?
I think, are you talking about Vikas Malhotra?
Both of you are talking, or you didn't used to talk. I had this. I felt both of you used to talk, and now both of you stopped talking. Anyways, it doesn't seem like you used to talk.
Like,
All right, are we done?
yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Ishani.
Yes.
Okay, now how do we get rid of these tables in the front end? As a back end, we can't. They are still going to stay in our file, but how do we get rid of them in the back end? Do you see this particular icon? Like an eyebrow and an eye, right?
Yes.
So this is the icon in Power BI for visibility. If you want to make something visible or invisible, we play with this icon over here. So what can you make visible and invisible? Not visible is invisible is basically the tables, or we can make the fields also visible and invisible. So if you see, if I am in front of any field, I get these icons in front of the field as well. So either I can make the entire table invisible, or I can make few columns or few fields of that particular table invisible. So in our case over here, we would want the entire table to be invisible, right? So I'm going to go ahead, click, click. Okay. Now, once this is done, if you go back in the front end, you will see all those tables are gone. And I only have my original 8 tables now. Okay, so that's the reason, Sanjeev, I was saying that you don't need to create a new file. We can really take care of it over here in the backend.
All
Shani,
right.
could you please read the step once again?
Sure. So what we did, Shikhar, was we went over here, the symbol that is eye kind of a thing, that's a visibility or invisibility icon. So once you click on it and it has cross marks, means it has become invisible. And if you get this kind of icon, it means it is visible. So we are just making all the tables which we don't require invisible. And that's the reason I wanted to segregate also, so that on one side we have tables which have visibility and we are going to work on the relationship. And one side we are keeping all the tables which we are invisible and not required.
Ishani, this I thing is not there in my files.
It has to be there. Can you, it's in the old version also. You want to share your screen once?
Yes, yes, yes.
How come you have so fancy things? Just upgrade. If you click on upgrade now, something will happen.
I don't. So let me just try.
Eyes are there now.
Right now.
Congratulations.
Ani, I want to ask one more thing. As I have clicked on I button, but it's showing on transform. Average income table is showing.
In transformation, it would be there.
So where we cannot see that?
The main place where we are going to work, this report part.
Okay.
Those queries were created in transformation. So from there, you can't take it away. Okay. But this is our main working area where we create our dashboard. So from this area, we have cleaned it up.
Okay. Okay, right.
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 Shani, I can see joins in between my tables.
So those relationships is, that's what I was saying, that you talk about the relationships, right? The lines running between.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, not joins, relationships.
Yes.
So that, like I said, click on manage relationship and just clean it up. Just delete all of them. We can click on auto detect, and now that we have hidden all the unnecessary ones, we can auto detect and it will create relationships again. But for, let's begin with blank. Let's get rid of all the relationships to start off with.
Shani,
Yeah.
please don't get angry because we don't have,
I've got a bad reputation now with you, Vivek. Tell me.
actually I don't have a AW customer fact.
You have AW customer, right?
Yes.
So that's fine. These are the names I have given. So it's okay. That is the same table.
Okay.
It was given fact due to the primary key, I think.
Yeah. I have given to some, I've forgotten on some. So it's okay. These are my user given names. Okay, should we start, guys?
Yes, Ishan.
All the others?
Yes, yes.
Yes. All good?
Yes, Ishani.
Sunil, Ankita, Deepika,
Yes,
Sandeep.
yes.
Yes,
Giri,
Shani.
Govind. All good? All right. Yash? Yes. All good. Perfect. All right, let's start then. So what do you understand by the word data models? What is data models for you? What do you mean by data modeling? We are talking about creating models. What does it really mean?
Data design.
Data design. Okay. What does it consist of? Why do we do it?
So basically, it's a way to standardizing the data so that we can see what is related to one another.
So standardization or normalization you've already done, right?
To represent our data.
So organizing the elements of the data.
Not really. So what are data models? Data models are basically the modeling part that you do in which you have your normalized tables. And in the normalized tables, you create relationships among them. So we have discussed, you must have discussed in SQL when you were doing relational database management system, that our first thing is that we try to normalize the table. Now I've normalized the table. So all tables are having their own set of information that they keep. Now, if I want to do my analysis, it's not necessary that my analysis will be only around one table. It may be that I want something from this table, something from the other table. So how do you get these fields from the other tables? We get these fields from the other tables based on relationships, right? So that is what a data model is. So this is how ER diagram, which you call ER diagram, or in our Power BI, we call them data models. Okay, so something like this which you create, you will see there are various tables over here. You will see there are relationships running. And again, if you remember, there are three types of relationships. So this one is 1-to. The asterisk represents the many side. So this is like 1-to-many side. This one is 1-to-many side. And why you are only looking at 1-to-many side? Because that's what Power BI wants. It doesn't like many-to-many. And if you have 1-to-1 relationship, what do we do typically? What is the suggestion? If you have 1-to-1 relationship,
we can have union.
Not union. How
Okay.
union?
Merge.
Union
We
is
can-
not possible, right?
Okay, yeah, we can
merge.
merge the table. Yeah.
Absolutely. You can merge and make it one single table, not union, but merge and make one single table. So if it's 1-to-1. So again, concept of fact table and data table, very common terminology. Right now, few of my students were giving interviews for this company called the Math Company. Everyone was asked this question, that what is a fact table, what is a data table? Anybody wants to talk about it? What's a fact table?
Fact table is that which contain the primary key.
The table
which has primary or
Primary
foreign
key.
the primary key in which each record can be uniquely identified by the key.
Unique, like customer data.
Like customer data, right? So the fact table, or also called the lookup tables, have unique values, something like territory over here. So you see 1, 2, 3 till 10, these are unique values. With each record can be uniquely identified based on the sales territory key. Then we have data tables. What are data tables? They have multiple values, right? Like over here, if you look at the sales table, I've got an order date, I've got a stock date, I've got order number, product key, customer key, territory key, and so on and so forth. So if you remember, we discussed order date may not be unique because on one particular day, I may have multiple orders. Stock date also cannot be unique because I may have multiple stocks. Order number is not going to be unique because if I buy 5 product, it is going to give me information about 5 product keys and how many line item may also vary. So because of which order number is also not same, product key is not same, customer keys are, none of the items are unique. And in the combination
sorry,
is
Shani,
also not. Yes.
Sorry, Shani, could you please repeat 1 or 2 minutes before I just got internet connection, so I couldn't listen it.
Sure. So what I was saying is, when you talk about data tables, one example of data tables from the data on which you're working is the sales table. Now, why is it called a data table? Because there is no column or a combination of column which will create a unique identification for the records in your table. Like order date can be same date, multiple orders. Same date, multiple stocking can be done. One order number may be repeated 2 or 3 times depending on how many products you picked. And then you have the product keys, which may be again, be duplicate because 2, 3 different customer may buy the same product key, and the customer can come back again and again. So that is also not unique. So none of the columns over here can be unique, and hence this is called a data table. Is this part clear?
Ishani, but the customer key represents the customer identification, right?
Yes, but one customer can come to you 10 times, place 10 different orders.
Yeah, but in this table, this customer key can be data table, but in another table in which there are only records of customer, then it will be unique table.
Correct. So in sales table, it is not called a primary key, right? What is it called?
Is the data table.
It is called a foreign key,
Foreign.
Foreign key.
right? So your product key, your customer key, your territory key, all of them are foreign keys.
Yeah.
None of them has primary key, and they are primary key to the fact tables. Right? Like product keys for the product table, customer keys for the customer table, territory keys for the territory table. Clear, right?
Right.
So again, going back over here. So half of it we had identified, like customers, we said it's a fact table. Category is a fact table, subcategory is a fact table, product is a fact table. Returns are data tables. Why is return a data table? Because again, the same thing, right? Order date, stock number, product key, which anything, none of them are. No, this is
The
not the
sales
return
table.
table. Yeah, this is like this
It
doesn't
has
look
just,
like-
yeah.
So over here, you see return on the same day, I may have multiple returns. In the same territory, I may have multiple returns. Same product, multiple returns. So none of them are again unique. So my returns data is also what? It's a data table. And with the same thought, my sales table is also a data table. So I'm just going to go over here. I'm going to change the name to make it data in this. And AW territories is what?
Fact table.
It's a fact table. Correct. So you can also do this thing so that it's very clear in your mind, because when you create relationships, we always say that relationship has to be one to many, where one side has to be on which one? Fact or data?
Fact.
Fact. And many will be in the data side. So it just, when you name them, it just gives more clarity. That's it.
Yeah, is there any way in which we can, find out easily that which table? Because sometimes it may get confusion that, and in one table customer key is representing as a fact table, and the same key, same data in the another table representing as a foreign key. So it might be confusing. Okay, it's a data set, simply we are looking at it, but if we go through another data set in which we are going to see first time, so don't you think it will be quite
Not
trouble
really.
to identify these keys?
Not really, because once you've identified your fact tables, means you identify your primary keys. A primary key which sits in another table is always a foreign key. Right? If you know, for example, if you look at sales, okay, this is a sales table. You already know product key is a primary key for someone else.
Yes.
You already know customer key is a primary key. You already know territory key is a primary key for something else. So all of them are primary key for some other table. So over here, they are supposed to be foreign keys only. And you need foreign keys, right? If you don't have foreign keys, there's no relationship that can be created.
Correct.
So I can do this thing. I'll make you do an exercise today in the class so that you'll get more clarity with it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Where were we? Okay, fact in the data table. Any questions around what is a fact or a data table? You have to understand, if there is any table in which I cannot, with one column or a combination of columns, I'm not able to find a unique value. Like if I do a unique, if I look for one particular column or a combination to be unique, then it's not a fact table. A simple example, Abhishek, now that you've said, it's sitting in my head. So for example, over here, if I pick this particular table, Suppose if you look at this table, right? This is the table I picked up from there where you have order date, stock date, order number and all. So if you go to data and you do a remove duplicate on top of it, no duplicate values found. What is this? How is this possible? Unique combinations. Okay. Yeah. No, that funda won't work. Unique combinations are there, but still.
We can try to remove duplicate only on one column, on A.
One
because
of
order
them
date-
can
order
be,
date-
yeah, but we are also talking about combinations, right? Combinations can also make a composite key and make a primary key.
But you are applying the duplicate, remove duplicate on the entire table.
Yeah, I was hoping that I'll get duplicates, to be
But
honest.
if we can try in only single column,
Single
maybe
column, so you have to understand, yeah, single column is easy to identify, right? But what I'm trying to make you understand is sometimes you will have tables where you have two combinations that make you a primary key.
You
Not
can
one.
you can find through conditional.
No. If this does not find, there is no
Okay.
duplicates. I'm not gonna waste my time there. But that's okay. That's okay. Probably I'll use example to make you understand it better. Anyways, let's start. So database normalization, I'll just walk you through. You already have done this thing. Normalization is a process of organizing the tables and the columns in a relational database to reduce redundancy and for data integrity and for data updation. Three important things because of which we normalize our table. Table should be distinct and have specific data. And let's do this small exercise. Create a table from the database showing the based on the rules of normalization and identify which is a fact table and which is a data table. So let me show you. You really don't need it. In the sense, I'm not going to share this file with you. You don't need the file. On a piece of paper or a Word, on a Word document or Excel, you can create this small thing. So this is one single table. Okay. So I've got row ID, order ID, order date, ship mode, customer ID, customer name, which segment, which city, which state, which country, which region, what is a product ID, what's a category, subcategory, what is a product name, what is sales and quantity, discount, profit, everything in one single table. Okay, and you will see that the order date is repeating itself. Order ID. Why order ID and all this information repeating itself? Because the same reason, one order ID have 4 different products that the person has bought. So all the information about the orders, all the information about the customer is getting repeated 4 times. Yes?
Yes.
So my question to you is, can I do something about this table and should I break it up or like this is a better table? Should we break it up into smaller table, normalize the tables, or this is fine?
I think it's already fine. It's already fine because already is breaking into different.
I'll send you a sample in the
should-
chat to look at.
We need to normalize it.
Pratibha says we need to normalize it.
To normalize it.
Yes.
Normalize it, right?
Yes.
There's too much unnecessary information. Don't you think we talk about data redundancy? This is full of redundant data. So on WordPad or an Excel file, just write, okay, this could be the table, this could be the table, and this will be the primary key, this is the primary key, and identify how many fact tables or the data tables you are creating. Let me know at any point when you want me to scroll the screen.
Can you please scroll it to right?
Sure.
So apart from serial number, every column is a data column. Row ID.
Row ID is kind of a
Unique.
yeah, it's kind of if you want to say, okay, this is my fact table, then row ID becomes your primary key.
Right.
Yeah, but not a very good way to keep a table. So did anyone think about how many tables should be there?
We are thinking, Ishani, just
Sure.
Around 3 to 4.
3.
Yeah.
3. I think 3.
3.
Customer, product, sales, and territory as well. 4.
You can
Sales,
read
customer, can be
region.
not territory, what region table have we in the product table.
Product, customer, territory,
Product,
sales. 4
Customer.
tables.
territory, and sales.
Territory
Absolutely
and
correct. Four
Yes.
tables.
And what's the last one, Shani?
Sales.
Sales or the order table, right? Where you have how
Okay.
much quantity was ordered, what was the discount, and so on and so
Discount
forth.
and profit, right?
One can be only around the products. What are the categories and subcategories and segments in product ID, right? One could be for the geography, the territory data, and one could be for the customer. So 4 tables will be there. Out of these 4 tables, how many would be your fact tables?
Customer,
1.
Product.
Fact table.
okay.
So you
Customer
guys
ID would
said,
be
Product ID.
so you told me 4 tables. We said customer table. Then we said product table. And then we said your order table or this order / sales table. And then you're talking about a territory table.
Right. Product and territory would be the fact table.
And customer,
Fact
it
table.
has, it should be fact
Customer
table.
Has
would be a
customer
fact table.
ID,
product,
Product, fact,
fact,
territory.
order, territory is
Fact and order sale data.
yes.
data is data.
Make sense?
Yes, yes.
Abhishek.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable with what we did right now?
Actually, no.
No, right? Because that was your question. How do you identify? So how do you typically identify? So if I have to do this exercise, right, to break it down, I will see that there is a customer ID, there is a customer name, right? And which city or state or the country the person lives in, that all information is there, right? So I will say, okay, I would want this, since this information is repeating multiple times, I have a way of removing it. Because right now, because the customer ID is coming, the customer's name is coming, the city is coming, everything is coming over here. So I can reduce this work. So I can create a table called a customer table, correct? So if you create a customer table, what all you will put over here?
Customer name, customer ID is
Customer ID, customer name, right?
is geographical identification or
Yeah. So now tell me. So tell me, out of these, what will be your primary key? Since it's a fact table, it has to have a primary key, right? So which will be your primary key in this case?
customer ID.
Customer ID.
Abhishek,
Customer ID.
customer ID. All right, perfect. Over here, what do you think the columns will you pull? There is something called a segment. There is something called category. There is something called a subcategory. And there is something called a product ID.
Product ID.
Right? So all these will be there. for a product ID, which category, subcategory, which segment it falls into, right? Which will be your primary key?
Product ID.
Product ID. All right. Then in the sales table, what you will have, you will have things like order table. So order
Cost,
ID
quantity.
would be there,
Quantity.
cost, your profit, quantity, blah blah blah, right? All these discount and all these information is there. Now we said one order, if it has 5 products, let's say there's someone who placed order number 1, so order ID is 1, but this guy is buying 5 different products. So the product ID would show up over here to say, okay, in one order, what was there? You will say, okay, product ID is 1A, 1B, 1C, this is a product. Correct? But the order ID will repeat.
Will repeat.
Right? So is this a fact table?
No.
No. Right? And when I'm saying in order ID, I'll put a product ID. Is product ID a primary key for this table?
No.
No. It is what? It is a
It's a foreign key. Primary key is order ID.
There is no primary key, because remember, order ID is repeating.
Okay.
Correct?
Data
So
tables, we don't have any primary keys.
yes, and that is why it's a data table, because it does not have a primary key.
Okay.
Make sense?
Okay. Okay. So as far as my knowledge, I'm getting that data table are those table which contain near about the same about any product about the same information about the one product. Like for the product table.
Don't only think about like product based or e-commerce data set that I'm using.
No,
Don't
no.
think about that. Think about it as a data table is a table where all the values are repeating themselves. Okay, and I will not be able to find one column or a combination of a columns that I can say this is a unique value.
Like the fact table.
Like the fact table, correct.
Okay, like the fact table, we have a product ID that is primary key.
Right. So for example, if I say product ID, right? If I take the product table. So if I say there is 1A, 1B, 1C. Now it may be that all these belong to the same segment. Segment is repeating, but is the product ID repeating? No.
No.
Right. Now the category also may be the same, that 2 of them may have the same category. Let's say this C1, C1, and this one is C2. So category is also repeating, but there is one single column which can uniquely identify all my rows.
Okay,
So
the
this becomes my
single
fact
one
table.
column which can define all the category of this.
Meaning, if I say 1B, 1B is only one in product ID. Okay, and all these are attributes of 1B. They're all, if I say A1 is a segment and C1 is a category, what is it? It is product ID 1B. Understood?
Yes, yes.
So this becomes my fact table.
Okay.
And where I have nothing unique, those becomes my data tables. And mostly you will see data tables have foreign keys in it. Okay, fact
Got it.
tables also may have a foreign key. Not that they don't have, they can have, but data tables definitely have foreign keys in it.
Foreign key and primary key as well.
Data table won't have any primary key.
Sorry, no, fact table has the primary key.
Yes, this has only foreign keys.
Only foreign key.
Yes, and fact may have
Have
primary
foreign
key.
key, but definitely will have primary key.
Yes, or slash, not slash, and foreign key. May have a foreign key, right?
Got it.
Primary key is definitely there.
Got it. Got it.
Got it?
Got it.
Anyone
Thank you.
else who has a confusion about foreign key, fact table, data table, primary key, foreign key? Because you know, as much as we love to dive into dashboarding and create nice charts with navigations and all these fancy things that you must have seen, backbone are these concepts behind it. You know, I don't come from a computer engineering background. So I know programming because I was an engineer. I've been programming since class 11. But SQL is one thing I had to understand and learn Just because any tool that I typically use, whether it's Excel or it's Power BI or it's Tableau, I need to have this concept or understanding of working on multiple tables. If I don't have that understanding and how they're related, I can't do visualizations, right? So this pretty much creates a backbone for our work. So in Tableau also, again, these things will come back, but not in this depth, because Tableau has made it relatively easier for everyone, that you don't even have to know all foreign key, primary key concepts, but indirectly it's using the same concept. Is it clear to everyone? Anyone, any
Yes.
questions? No?
No, Ishani, all
All
good.
good. Oh, you are feeling sleepy now, I think.
No, no,
No? All
no,
right.
not at all.
So primary keys are unique and they exist in the fact tables. Foreign key may be duplicate and they exist in the data tables, right? Foreign key and primary key are used to create relationship between the tables, because that are the two things, those are the common things between the tables. Now, what are the different type of relationships? Tanu, why don't you talk? You get good marks, you score well, you do good assessments. Tanu, tell me, what are the various type of relationships? Where is Tanu? Okay, anyone else? Pratibha, why don't you tell me what are the various type of relationships?
It's a one-to-one relationship,
Correct.
one-to-many relationship,
Correct.
many-to-many relationships.
Absolutely correct. So there are only three type of relationships that we work with. One is one-to-many, which is like I told you, we use in Power BI one-to-many relationship. Anytime you guys have many-to-many relationship, it kind of does an alert for you that, hey, many is happening over here, which is not acceptable. And one-to-one, but whenever we have one-to-one relationships, we say, why create two different tables when all are unique in both the tables? Just combine the two tables, merge the two tables and create a single table. Now, this is an example of one-to-one. For example, one school and one principal. So one school can have one principal can have only one school. So this is one-to-one relationship. One school can have many teachers and one teacher can only teach in one school. So this is one-to-many relationship. And many-to-many, one student is learning many lessons and one lesson can be taught to many students. So this is many-to-many relationships. You guys know how to create relationships or how to find out relationships? Yes, no, maybe. Do you know how to identify which relationship it is?
Can you
Yes,
please explain?
you can you can
Explain.
tell it
You can
again,
also
because
give it a
it's on
Confusion.
it's based
You
on
explain, give
foreign.
it a try.
Yeah,
Yeah, you just explain.
yes,
You guys are so, you're like, okay, you can also try. We know, but let's see your knowledge now.
yes. It's based on primary and foreign key, right?
So I do it in a very
Actually,
mechanical.
Shani, the thing
Huh.
is we have, spent most of the time on querying the data, not this,
Thinking about all these
concepts.
things.
Yeah, primary key, foreign key
Yeah, that
relationships.
was
I think we almost, discussed about these things only 10 to 15 minutes
Yeah, because
during our
these
It
entire
is the
people,
session.
maximum time.
people find
Please
it
tell
very
it.
boring. That's why Pratik was trying to, avoid it. I think people find it very boring, but like I said, unfortunately, this forms the backbone of at least the work I have to do. So just let's take an example from our tables only, right? So we have something called a product table. And we have our sales table. Okay. No, this is easy example to understand. Okay, let's do this thing. I'm trying to think of an example where I can explain it easily. When Pratik explained this relationship, I'm sure he did the relationships in the primary and the foreign key. What example did he take? Anybody remembers? I would like to use the same thing then.
That was a customer loan table. I
Customer
remember
loan
that.
table.
Yeah.
He has shared
There
the
was a
document.
customer table, there was a loan table.
That's
And
the one that you used in Excel, I think.
he took an example of like
Okay,
one or
let's say for example, you have a customer table and you have a loan table, correct? Yes. So the way I do my relationship is, if I say one customer can take up one loan or many loans,
Many.
Many loans.
one, yeah, many.
Many
loans, and one
Many
loan can
loans.
be one loan can be taken by how many customers?
Many customers.
Many.
One loan,
One
One
loan
loan
customer.
can buy one customer.
One
one customer. So
One
once you've created this thing, then you see, okay, this is only one and this is many. So this relationship becomes one to many relationship. Correct?
Yes, Ishan.
So this is like a simple mechanical way to understand, like we were doing over here when we were talking about school and the principal, the one that I had on my PPT. So one school
Many.
will have how many principals?
One.
One. And one principal can be of how many schools? One.
One.
So what is this relationship? This is one to one because it's one on both the side. Yes. And the second one,
Shani,
both the
why this
tables will-
concept? You carry on.
say that again.
Yeah. I am saying in both the tables, school and principal, there'll be separate primary keys for this table, right?
Correct.
And
So
when
one,
we talk
see, there are
about
two things you have to understand. One thing is, yes, if you identify your primary key and a foreign key very nicely, you know the relationship then.
Yes.
Correct. I'm saying before you even, when you're thinking about the tables, right from the database design point of view. Because
Yeah.
if you're going in that level, then you have to first think about, okay, if I create these two tables, what kind of relationships are creating in this table?
Yeah.
Okay, then we do this mechanical way of understanding what type of relationships are there without even looking at our actual data sets.
Okay.
Okay.
Shani, I was just asking that for the second example, you told that the one school can have one principal and one principal can handle one school only. So it is called one-to-one relationship. So in the above example, same one loan.
One customer, many loans.
One customer can take many loans.
And one particular loan will be taken by one customer only.
Yes. So if it is one to many, then the one loan should be taken by the multiple customer. Then only we can call it one to
one
many.
to many is because this is the one side and this is the many side.
Okay, it is not vice versa.
No. For example, the other example that I took of student and lesson, right?
It's many.
Now, one student can learn how many subjects? Many subjects.
Many subjects.
One subject or one lesson can be taught to how many people? Many people.
Many.
Now this is many to many relationship.
Okay.
All right.
Got
So
it.
it's
Shani,
not
got it.
relatable
here
as a vice
also,
versa.
in the sense when you do, you have to put one on both the sides. So if you see, it is not going to be in the beginning, we are not saying many students are learning many lessons. We are saying, okay, if I pick one student will learn how many, and then we go back one lesson by how many. Then we see if there's many on this side, the output is many. And again, if there's any many on this side, the output is many. Now the relationship we call many to many relationship. Okay, like in this side, it was one on both, so output is one. This is also one, so output is one. So this is one-to-one relationship. And over here, it was one on this side for both the things, output is one, but one of on the loan table, this is one many. So this becomes one-to-many relationship.
Ishani, can you
Yes.
please explain one-to-many relation one more time, please? Customer table and loan table.
Yes. So for example, if I say I am the customer, right? I can take up how many loans against my name? Many loans.
Yeah, many.
Right? But if I talk about one loan ID, right?
That can be
One
taken
loan
by
ID
one
can be
customer.
taken by how many people? Only one customer.
Yeah.
So that's why this
Okay.
is one, and this becomes the one side, and this becomes the many side.
That makes sense.
Okay. Is it clear to all?
Yes.
Ishani, you know that I don't know is it relevant or not, but if like one customer can take multiple loan, so one loan can be taken by the multiple customers
No,
as
no,
well.
no. So what I'm saying is, let's say you go and take up a loan, you get a loan ID. Correct? That loan ID will only be associated with your name.
Yeah.
So we are not talking about the type of, like, I'm not talking about a home loan. So how many people can take home loan? Many home loan people can take home loan. But in that home loan, there will be some ID for you, right? Let's say
Okay,
HM123.
the loan ID will be only one, no matter that the applicant are 2 or 3 or 1.
Absolutely. Like this over here, there are many schools and many principals. If you talk about the country, then it's always many to many.
Okay.
You understand?
Got it.
Okay. All right. All good with the relationships? We have to jump. Yes, we can jump. We are done. I know. Yeah.
Just one question, because I recall Prateek's class. In case of many-to-many relationship, he just mentioned that we need to create a third table, so that we can have one-to-many relationship, right?
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. But over here in Tableau, Power BI, we completely don't want any many-to-many relationship. But what you said is absolutely
one-to-many,
correct.
we have to create 2 tables, right?
Yes. So typically, no data structures can take many-to-many relationship. None of them. The reason behind it is when you do many-to-many, too much, when you talk about the filter flows and all those things, we'll do it tomorrow. You will see it causes a lot of ambiguity in the data and the flow. So what we do is we typically convert these many-to-many relationship into a junction relation, into a junction table, which would have, let's say, the primary key of the first one, the primary key of the second one, repeating multiple times. And with one table and junction table, this will be one side, this will be many side. And with the other table also we do the same. This is the one side and this is the many side. So we say that many-to-many relationships are broken into 2 one-to-many relationships.
Yes.
Okay.
And that is done through the work of junction table.
So we are going to do this in this lesson, right?
We don't have to do in Power BI. We completely don't want to get into many-to-many relationships.
Oh, nice.
We find ways and means and methods not to do it. But in case we have to, yes, we will also use the same technique. We'll create a junction table and create relationship of student and lesson, whatever the tables are, and create 2 one-to-many relationship. Because many-to-many, even Power BI doesn't like, it wants you. No system wants it. Okay.
Yes.
All right. All good. Vivek, any questions? Now that I know you're afraid of asking me questions. Vivek, all good?
All good.
Don't be afraid of asking me. It was just, I had repeated so many times that I was feeling I'm just going around and round and doing the same thing. And I was just thinking in my mind so much is left to do. That's the reason I told you, please watch the video yesterday. Okay. I hope you didn't take it otherwise. All right. So once these relationships are done, we will start creating the relationships tomorrow in the backend, and we'll talk about very important thing that's called filter flow. Super important for Power BI visualizations. Otherwise, you'll keep scratching your head and you will not know why you're not getting what you thought you would get. So we'll talk about filter flows, and from there, we can start creating visualizations. All right.
Yes.
Yes.
Sure. Yes.
All good. Take care, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ishani. Take care.